Time for our first book slot of 2015. Former high school teacher turned satirist Ndumiso Ngcobo, who is also a radio personality and popular columnist, has recently launched his latest book now. It's called Eat, Drink and Blame the Ancestors, a compilation of the best of his columns from 2009 until 2014, navigating through race, tradition and other features of life in a rather funny manner. He's also written two other books, Some of My Friends Are White and Is It Because I'm Black? Now, we are joined by Ndumiso today in studio. Good morning.
Morning.
I love the titles of your book. It's very provocative. Is that the idea?
Well, I mean, titles of books are designed quite deliberately to get you to pick it up and be curious enough to say, well, what's this about, you know?
Tell us about the premise of this one, because I find it very provocative and blame the ancestors. Are we at that point in our society culturally?
Listen, you know, I love how it is that we love to ascribe you know, uniqueness to you know, to universal phenomena that have been around for years, and I think that sometimes, I mean, let's be honest. I come from KwaZulu-Natal, where, quite frankly, people will find any excuse to slit the throat of a bovine or a goat. You know, so if we're happy, we'll slaughter a cow. If we're sad, we'll slaughter a cow. If we're bored, we'll slaughter a cow. And I was really just you know, taking the mickey out of that in one particular column about just how it is that we love slaughtering and all of that.
So did you come with the title after you slaughtered something and drank some kumboti, or how did you come? Where did it come to you?
Well,
in the shower?
You know, the title of the book is actually a bit. It's an excerpt from one of the pieces that are in this book. I never actually come up with my own titles. I always leave it to someone else, and they just went in and they picked the editors, and I looked at it and I said, no, I like it, and that's what we went with.
I thought you were one of the funniest columnists in the country. Now you tell me someone else is doing your work.
Well, these are my words. Someone else, you know, might do this. But you know, I think that the title, I think, in essence, captures exactly what it is that we're about. You just had a very serious conversation about you know, Charlie Hebdo, and talking about, you know, there's a conversation going on about satire and satirism and what the lines are and so on. And I suppose my style of writing is a bit, you know, I'm very non-confrontational. I have this rule that if I'm going to mock and ridicule you, if I had to choose something to ridicule you about, but look at you. I mean, there's nothing to actually, you know, take the mickey out of, right?
Yeah, don't touch me on my studio. You heard that one, right?
No, on your studio. Although we can have a conversation about your hair, and I can write about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just a new hairstyle I've got for 2015, inspired by my wife. She thinks that I've had the same hairstyle for 30 years. It's time for me to change. So you see, you're bringing the spotlight onto me, like you know, like any columnist would be, is to deflect it from themselves. But tell me about your inspiration, because you're a really funny man. What inspires you?
Well, I don't know. You know, this whole thing about me being funny, I think for me is absolutely coincidental. I think that what triggers off my thoughts is that I have almost a morbid fascination with the mundane. You know, some people might even call it banalities. Even though I actually can, you know, pick on serious subjects, such as, for instance, I mean, one of the you know, columns in there is about race and having the fact that people of my skin color have got very unique problems, such as, you know, you walk into a restaurant and because you're black and the waiter is also black, they'll say, and you say to them, oh, well, can I have some carpaccio? And they say, but sir, do you know that's actually raw meat? You know, because they're trying to be helpful.
So you know what? If you were in Cape Town, you'd be lucky if you got the reservation in the first place. So you should be happy that you've made it into the restaurant. At least that's where we are. But you were a teacher.
Yes.
Tell me about the journey from being a teacher, somebody who's passionate about young people and teaching and learning, to being a columnist where at times you have to almost do the opposite a little bit.
You know, the thing about it is I don't see how different it actually is. Quite frankly, the only reason I left the teaching profession is because the pay was appalling. No, really. I mean, I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I loved the whole concept of sitting and sharing ideas and debating things and so on. And this is precisely what it is that I still do now.
Is that the next project, maybe, that you're going to write a book that you can maybe co-produce with the basic minister, education minister, and talk about compensation for teachers, because we're losing the best teachers, it seems?
Well, you know, the thing about teaching is you honestly have to have a really great sense of humor, particularly at the end of the month when you see your salary advice, you know, and then you sit there. So I'd actually love, I mean, if the minister is actually listening, I mean, I'd love to actually do a collaboration with the Department of Education, yeah.
Well, fantastic. A wonderful man and a fantastic book. This is the one that I think is on the must-read list here in South Africa this week, or this year rather. It's called Eat, Drink and Blame the Ancestors. It's a collation of a lot of funny comments, funny columns rather, with a lot of serious issues also on the table. Ndumiso Ngcobo is the author, first author of 2015. I'm sure he'll be back with us again. A read that I've really enjoyed. Thank you for joining us today, Ndumiso.
Pleasure.
That's the man. Let's take a quick look at your